So, in case you didn't notice, Trump Media Corp filed for a Bitcoin ETF. This is the presidential ETF. Could actually get some buyers. You know, Trump had some rabid fans, and they might buy this ETF, which could actually boost the demand for certain cryptos. Now, there's 5 cryptos that are kind of in the bag of the ETF, and I'm here to tell you their allocations. Now, the first 4 aren't really a big surprise. Outside of BNB, they're the biggest cryptos out there. Number 5 is kind of a wild card, and it actually doesn't get the lowest amount of allocation. So, what we have right now is an ETF with 70% allocation in Bitcoin. No surprise there. We all knew it was going to be Bitcoin dominated. Don't think anyone's surprised with that. About 15% in Ethereum, 8% in Solana, 5% in Kronos, and 2% in XRP. Now, Kronos, obviously CRO is the exception because it's not a top 5 or top 10 coin. It is actually ranked number 31. You take out the stable coins, it's ranked roughly around 26, 27 without those. So I can't really consider it a blue chip. But Trump obviously does consider it a blue chip, or at least the Trump team does. And moreover, Kronos.com, not Coinbase, is going to be the custodian of the ETF funds. Now, generally, while other ETFs outside of BlackRock and Fidelity wouldn't get much volume, I can't say the same thing about the Trump Media ETF because it's got the president behind it and he has like a cult-like following, so they might actually buy the ETF. Now, I don't know how many people in that following actually invest, and that's an open question, obviously. But realistically, there are going to be some buyers, and it could actually attract some attention because, you know, the name of the president still has authority, and there are rabid fans of El Presidente. So, as reported, Trump Media files for new 5-asset crypto ETF, 70% Bitcoin allocation. The rest would follow Ether, Solana, Kronos, and XRP at fixed ratios. The filing follows a recent NYSE rule change request for separate Bitcoin Ether ETF from TMTG. Trump Media Technology Group filed a registration statement for a crypto ETF that would hold 5 digital assets, expanding the company's push into exchange-traded products and the president's expanding business ventures. Now, this isn't the same as a solo spot ETF for any of these cryptos. So they expand their crypto strategy. According to the registration statement filed Tuesday with the SEC, the new fund would allocate 70% of its assets to Bitcoin, 15% to Ether, 8% to Solana, 5% to Kronos, and 2% to XRP, offering investors exposure to multiple crypto assets through a single ETF. I think they've also filed for a Bitcoin ETF as well. Obviously, they're trying to bank heavily on Bitcoin. Crypto.com would serve multiple roles for the ETF, acting as a digital asset custodian. That's different because remember everyone else uses Coinbase, which probably may be better, but Crypto.com is a pretty big exchange overall, especially internationally, so it kind of makes sense. It also would act as a prime execution agent, staking provider, and liquidity provider according to the filing. So obviously the coins that are up for staking will actually have staking. So this might actually make this ETF pretty lucrative. And obviously if you want a diverse basket of assets instead of just a Bitcoin ETF, this is the one you would go for. So it might actually raise the demand for some of these coins. CRO obviously is the most heavily impacted. A 5% ratio for a coin like CRO is pretty big. And of course, using Crypto.com as their custodian is huge as well. So basically, Trump Media Company has filed for a Bitcoin-only fund and a Bitcoin-Ethereum combination fund. But this is the most surprising. Once again, CRO is up more than 20% because of this. And I think CRO is actually a pretty good buy. Yes, I would have a bit of hesitation to hold CRO long-term. And the main reason I would hesitate to hold CRO long-term is because of dilution. Only about 30% of their coins are actually out. But based on the way the crypto exchange is expanding, and like it's actually being used as the custodian for the Trump ETF, I think for the next 3 years, it's going to be pretty good because Trump himself or like his team is going to hold a bag of this and he's going to pump his bag. So very, very good news for CRO. Pretty good news for Solana and XRP as well. 8% actually is more than I thought the Solana would actually get. So, I mean, it's pretty good overall for that. 2% for XRP, I mean, I think that's pretty much expected. It's good to get any percentage at all, honestly. And 15% for Ethereum was a little less than I thought. I thought they would be like, 60-25 or something like that. But I guess they want to lean heavily into Bitcoin. So those are the 5 coins that actually got in the presidential ETF. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.